Okay, we're here with the first gameological review check-in, a little experiment. We're doing a little add-on to the reviews you've come to know and love on Gameological. I'm John Tatey, the editor of Gameological, and I'm here with Scott Jones, who
Hello,
is,
John.
yes, one of our critical luminaries.
Oh,
So,
that's sweet.
so Scott's a couple of our readers on the Tumblrs and the Twitters have come up with questions that they'd like you to answer. And the first one is a good one. Would a new player, one not familiar with the Metal Gear series, be able to easily jump right into Revengeance?
I think that's an excellent question. Congratulations to you for asking it. Well worded. I think that of all the Metal Gear games out there, this is by far the most approachable because it really is a game that's about putting some, not all, of the pointless rhetoric that the series has become known for on the back burner, and really sort of putting more of a traditional kind of video game experience up front. It leads as much as a Metal Gear game can ever lead, with the fun and with its and the pleasure, which are two things that I think generally we expect from our video games in the year 2013. Still, we expect them to be fun and pleasurable. Now, that's not two things that the series has always been true of. In fact, most of the games have been kind of miserable. But this one, I think that if if you're looking to have fun, I don't know if you're looking for a point of entry into the Metal Gear series, then I don't. Of course, I think you should start back at the beginning, not necessarily, back in the old 8-bit Nintendo days, but go back to the PlayStation 1, the double disc, the original Metal Gear Solid. Play that, and then that should give you enough of a core basis of the lore behind the game.
They came in that thick jewel case.
Yeah, that was a prized possession.
That was
for
exciting.
a while, until Metal Gear Solid 2: Sons of Liberty came out, and then the whole series just went in the garbage for me. I wanted nothing to do with any of the games after that.
Well, that leads into our next question,
Yeah.
which is the atmosphere in Revengeance similar to other Metal Gear titles, besides the focus on action? This
Is
person
the
says.
atmosphere in Revengeance similar? Yeah, I mean, I think so. I mean, it's kind of one of, and I don't want to tip my handle too much towards the review. I want that to be a surprise for everyone. But I actually didn't talk about this too much in the review. But one of the big problems is with the game is that the environments are very bland. It's just like it's an office space and a warehouse, and then we go down to sort of an isolated city block of banal buildings. Then we go back to another office space, and then another warehouse. And one of the things I always look for in any video game is a good sense of place. And this is a game that really doesn't have a good sense of place. I don't really know where I am or what I'm doing. I mean, it's something that I feel like the developers didn't really spend a lot of time and energy thinking about or considering. I mean, that's also something I feel whenever I look at a game, is how much were all of these things, all these elements that are coming together to make this experience happen, how much were they considered? And that seems like something that they didn't think a lot about. They, maybe they built the character models and they decided how they were going to interact and how the fights were going to play out. And then at the very last moment, at the 11th hour, oh geez, we got to put this someplace. Let's get a warehouse in here. That should do it. That's fine. They'll be fine with a warehouse. I've been in too many warehouses in all of my gaming days. I don't need to go in any more there should be, just until further notice, all warehouses are banned from video games.
I think I've spent more time in virtual warehouses than in actual warehouses, right?
When have you ever been in a real warehouse other than like Costco or something?
It's not a fantasy I ever planned to indulge, spending time in warehouses.
It's not a fun place, and I don't think you have to think too hard to come up with some fun, kinetic, exciting places to spend time in video games. But I think the Metal Gear series, it's not always had a great sense of place for me. I mean, some might argue differently, but so I think it fits in. I think it fits in with the other games for sure.
The giant gameological microphone and I have one last question for you, and
Yes, sir.
that is, does the title ever make sense? So it's Metal Gear Solid Rising: Revengeance. right?
Is there a moment where the veil is lifted and suddenly you understand?
Suddenly you understand why this, I think the question is, suddenly you understand why this game was called Revengeance, this made up word.
No, there really is. I finished the game. I've actually played through it twice. It's not a long game, and but I feel like the title symbolizes is the fact that this is kind of like Kojima Productions loosening their ties. This is them like just putting their feet up and saying, here, this is a fun one. This is gonna be fun for everybody. Let's have this made up word, and the word is fun. I mean, I actually like the title. When I first saw the title for this game, I got really excited and I thought, this could be fun. This could really work. And to some degree, it does kind of work. But I think it's one of the best video game titles that I've come across in a long time. I can't think of a better game title off the top. I mean, look, we just last month we had Devil May Cry. That's a terrible title.
DMC Devil May Cry.
DMC Devil May Cry. Yeah. So no, but there's no great secret. There's no great moment where the vengeance and the revenge and all of that stuff kind of gets sorted out. I mean, there is some plot stuff in there about Raiden, who's the main character in the game. He's the cyborg. And about he was a child soldier at some point, and he is helping some other children who are being exploited as child soldiers. But no, it's never like crystal clear. I would never, no, not even close.
Well, good. You're somewhat of an iconoclast, liking the title, though.
Am I? I'm on my own out here?
Yeah, I think a lot of people think it's pretty stupid, myself included.
Okay.
Just because I've had to write headlines with the whole, I guess it's Metal Gear Rising Revengeance, right?
Well,
that's
Metal Gear
Rising. It's a long title.
It's a long title, yes. But I think it also sort of limits what you can do in headline writing, because you just put that word out there, and then where do you go from there?
Well, you can't really top that.
Yeah. You can't top that, right? That's true. So I think from an editorial standpoint, I understand why you wouldn't like it.
Scott Jones, thank you for answering the reader questions and for participating in our first gameological review check-in.
Oh, and here's to many more. Invisible Drink.
So long, Clink.